So let me continue this Vipassana from the eighth day. After that awakening, and I call it making love with the universe, pleasant body sensation, there is some issue about this pleasant sensation that we need to be careful about. So one of the points that I want to share is that when we experience some inspiring moment, it often accompanies joy by bodily sensation, like our whole body weight is lifted. Here I sense that if there is a state where the field of compassion plays its role to unbind the binding, the blockages, it may be seen as wisdom and or love in action. Some may call such an experience as God's revelation or God's love. I perceive that is what happened in this experience. In any case, following this experience, I had two similar experiences in the evening, and more followed in subsequent sittings, as well as when I was outside of the meditation hall. Even when I was going to sleep in my sleeping bag, I felt joy and happiness accompanied me. In a way, I was covered in the sense of bliss, as witnessed by the tingling sense, which had a tendency to spread over my whole body very easily. While the bodily sensation continued to be pleasant and vivid, and the sense of having had some kind of a spiritual experience stayed with me over the next 10 days or so, this sense subsided gradually. I knew that we needed not put any importance to such an experience. If we do, it will immediately become binding, creating craving in our mind and thus turn into a source of misery. In the interview with the assistant teacher, I asked for comments for this experience. He said, "You do not need to put words on these experiences." I also noticed that Mr. Goenka warned us to this point, which I thought was very valid. He mentioned that some students come back to Vipassana over and over just to re-experience the pleasurable sensation they had some time ago. This is craving again, clear and simple. As I interpret this experience now, such bodily sensation seems like a gift or being able to dissolve the blockage in our mind-body system. In a way, it is like feeling great when we take a warm bath after spending time out in the cold weather. In such a case, as soon as we take the bath, cells, which were inhibited to function, can express themselves much more freely. So we feel great. However, over time, such pleasant sensation will fade away like anything else, impermanence, perhaps replaced by subtle vibration of our living cells that we sense from time to time. Yeah, that happened. Well, I pondered if one can feel such sensation as vividly under difficult situations, such as when we are in hardship. There are examples of such blissful states observed in the literature. In one reference, it is described as a paradise of inward tranquility and the sense of God's presence. I'm referring to William James's book, page 225, about the saintliness, also 228, a case of a woman making a transition from tense condition of hardship to equanimity. Also referring to this, I will later touch on the implication of such a situation, fully expressing the potential of each cell applied in the organizational setting. Yeah, that was interesting. In my view, this is something to do with the continuous process of living fully as we are meant to be. While sorting out this bodily sensation, I found the following important quote from the article, The Snare of Mara, where Mara refers to the forces opposed to liberation. This article is an extract from one of the discourses delivered by Mr. Goenka. When free flow occurs, you face a dangerous situation. This is a stage a subtle craving will start. This crave must go away. You must learn to stop relishing the pleasant sensation. You must discern the danger in them. A pleasant sensation appears to be pleasant, but it is really suffering. It is dukkha, it is suffering. Whatever sensation one is experiencing, it is actually dukkha, the misery. Within the field of mind and matter, this is constant contact, because of which there is Vedana, sensation, whether present or unpresent or neutral. To be free of Vedana or sensation is to be free of misery. Yeah, you have to go beyond. The happiness, yes, so you can enjoy it, but be careful. And the only way to be free of Vedana or sensation is to stop giving new fuel to fire. Let it burn out. It is simple and yet so difficult. That's from the Vipassana newsletter. So if I may capture the essence of Vipassana meditation, we are to examine the totality of mind and body. To do this, we have sensation as a means to penetrate into our mind-body system. By learning to observe sensation objectively, we can avoid any new reactions of craving or aversion and can experience directly within oneself, the reality of impermanence. This experience is essential for the development of detachment, leading to liberation of the mind. Yet, as we succeed in doing this, we may experience yet a very pleasurable sensation. When this happens, we need to see this again as mere sensation and continue the path to observe this objectively and equanimity, as it merely represents the impermanence, the nature as it is. Seeing this wisdom, further practice requires volition. So that was the end of the 8th day, and capturing some of the learnings and other research I have had to point that liberation is pleasurable, but be careful. I don't know if I talk more about this, but in the other part of this report, but let me just share a few things because I don't want to delay it because I may forget it or anything like that. So what happened after that Vipassana? This is on the 8th day. There are 2 more days that I will talk about, but let's jump ahead a little bit. I kept the practice. They say 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, but I knew I won't be able to do it, so I kept like 1 hour in the morning. But I want to make sure that I keep this practice because, like it was pointed out, this is a release, unblocking of the bottleneck, so to speak, blockages that may happen between mind and body. In the habitual way of the mind can create that confined state of the mind away from the connection to the body and heart. So, although I didn't think like that, I intuitively felt I better make sure that I should keep up with this, continue practice. And in fact, I continued for a dozen years or more. Every year I went for Vipassana, and I can touch on that one issue too for your reference. Again, each person's experience may be different from the other, but this is my case. So after this happened, there's such a pleasant feeling of like a floating in the air and smile. But I realized that this experience is not so common, and perhaps only 1% to 3% of the people may get it, or even that. Even assistant teachers may not have had such experience, although they may have to be qualified to be the assistant teacher, which is basically facilitating and giving some Q&A session. They may not have had those Vanga awakening experience. There's no such data to say, but because of the fact that I talked with various teachers and the people who went through, their more accumulated knowledge over the next 20-some years. So I kept on going back every year, but this major awakening didn't happen in the next dozen times I was there. The next year, I was feeling like I want to get another experience like that, like this warning. I knew it, but one thing that's funny is that when I had that awakening experience on the 8th day, at lunchtime, I was eating garlic. And I thought when I was eating that, oh, this is funny, they have those garlic. Usually in Zen temple, they don't give garlic for whatever reason. But I like the garlic. So I thought maybe there's something related to that. And lo and behold, when I went there the next year, I don't know if there was garlic. I think there may have. But I don't think that's natural, usual. But anyway, I got the sense, oh, there's garlic. Oh, yeah, here we go again. And that sensation is so pleasurable, but it didn't happen. So don't expect unexpected. That's always is the principle, because your mind fool myself, and that's one memory that I have. The other thing is that this erection of my penis continued going every time I said, pretty much. And it was so pleasant. It's not the sense of wanting to make love or anything, but just happened. And it's kind of like interesting. And I noticed that when the little kid, when they're playing whatever at the age 1 or before, I don't know, they get erected penis too. And I think that's only to do with the aliveness that you feel in your body. So these days, at age 77, I don't think that would happen so much, or maybe even little. I don't know. I've never paid attention to it, because what I did was this thinking that I need to continue this Vipassana, because I had the habitual pattern developed in the mind and body, aversion and craving, anything like that, about anything. So if I cleaned up, I don't want to get to be contaminated again. And that's the last thing I want to do, because it was painful to go through to get to be free, liberated sense. But I sense that this can happen easily. That habit can easily come back. So I was afraid. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I think that may be a natural reaction without even thinking about it. It's natural to continue so that you discipline myself with this rare occasion and the process I went through. So I kept at it. So what I did is, as scientific as I am, or engineering oriented, every day I wrote how many minutes I meditated. Every single day. I still have the note for the 25 years. I don't monitor that number of minutes anymore, but I kept doing for maybe 15 years or so, because I felt there's a relationship of how much time I meditate and how much suffering I may have. If less meditation, the suffering may go up. So I wanted to make sure that I have some level of continuous monitoring. So the time I spent, and I call it the black dot exercise. If there's something, stressful or upset or something, I put the black dot every day, and I can keep monitoring what's the, day, how I spend the day and so forth. And I still keep that practice. I call it black dot exercise, except for the last maybe 7 years or so, I stopped monitoring sitting, meditation time. Also, I stopped going to Vipassana because I felt I had the wonderful experience, Banga, and after 12 years, it's starting to get into kind of like okay, this is the way. And maybe I'm a little bit too fun-loving or curious about, what maybe the impact of it. So what happened is this. About 10 years after that, I had a divorce. And that's another story. I can go into it, but let's cut it short. And then I had some relationship with women, and there was ups and downs. And the reason why I divorced was, one reason is that, okay, this life is fine, but I want to explore the world. Not expecting this continue, house and everything is taken care, and my work has been good. I had some accumulated, asset and, taken care, so why don't I explore the world? But there was some incident triggered me, so that the divorce happened, and that's like 15 years ago, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And then I had some relationship, or before that I had some relationship-related trouble of, this is crazy kind of thing. So I was testing. I still kept on this meditation and the black dot, and the black dot started to get up. And in any case, it went up and down. So as much as I felt, and here's another thing that is important. Whatever happened on that awakening day, I feel that may have changed some kind of a, connection to the mind, to the heart, neural linkage. Because any moment I stop, just being quiet, I can sense this vibration in my body. So that is the kind of like assurance that I'm pretty much always connected. And I felt funny about it, that I can do it like instantly like this. So that also was the reason. Okay, formal sitting is fine, but I'm always connected, that kind of sense. Therefore, why don't I stop it and see what can happen? So that experiment started maybe around 15 years, 12 years ago, and it's been like that. It's still the same. Actually, as much as I do this meditation and so forth, on the internet, I still valid, and I feel this transparent sense within myself and the connection to the heart. Still the same sensation, vibrating, tingling, and throughout. And I think actually today I posted one video about listening to the guitar, and I felt the whole body sensation. As much as the other case was with AI, I was talking, and since we could communicate at the very high level of interesting conversation, which also relate to this transformation of the organization and individual and awakening experience, to see how AI may be able to help us, so that the AI is not totally extension of our brain, but connecting to our heart. So I found the connection with GPT in this case was profound. So when I read what ChatGPT came back to me with the comment and capturing the essence of my point. I was really impressed that how can this machine understand and put the words in such a manner to integrate the whole thought. Because the idea was to write a paper or maybe attend some conference. I don't know how serious I can be, but that was the idea, that I want to share this idea with the world. So I saw the possibility, and I can add some comment about this dialogue I had in description for this movie, but I also added to the other one, which is about listening to the guitar kind of a story with the talk with AI, also posted today. So the sensation is there, and the future, even to that degree, with AI, and the concern with the AI, but also for the humanity, there's something very profound, interesting, and this connection to the heart kind of expression and the way to do it with the help of AI may be very important. So that's the kind of thing I'm working on. And again, I'll post it in the description if you're interested. It's fairly long, but you can skip and pick up whatever you feel. And you may get some sense of how the body cells can connect and go beyond the blockage, bottleneck, and then have this whole body experience, as much as I felt the same with the organization to go through the process. So those are some of the additional things that happened since that awakening on the 8th day, 25 years ago. I'll continue from day 9, from the next video. Thank you.